Hello everyone, welcome back to our regularly scheduled Tidbits videos. My name is Kristina, thanks for tuning in. Thanks also for those of you who stuck through it last week. I know it was a little bit of a different format. I appreciate the willingness to go along with that. The gallery is up and open and it's looking beautiful. If you have time to step out, I encourage you to check it out. We're open Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 5. Just put your mask on and come explore some beautiful art. Today's video is actually another request, and I'm finally happy to be able to get to it. It's been requested for quite a while, but I haven't had a chance to work it in, but today we're gonna tackle it finally. This one was submitted by Chuck Koopman, who, if you couldn't tell from the name, happens to be my dad. He's also kind of a Tidbits super fan, which I appreciate. I think you might be a little biased out there, Dad, but thanks for watching. He requested that I cover The Thinker by Auguste Rodin, and it's a very beautiful sculpture that has a lot of lasting impact, and it resonates with a lot of people. And I think our goal today will be to explore why that is and why so many people are drawn to it and fascinated by it. So let's take a deeper look. Up first, some vocab. These terms are specific to sculpture and might be helpful to know ahead of time. Up first is casting, which is a process that involves making a mold and then pouring a liquid material, such as molten metal, into it. A cast is a form made by this process. This process usually starts by the artist modeling a form, usually in clay, wax, or plaster. This form is then used to create the mold that a cast is created from. A mold can be cast more than once, allowing artists to create editions, or sets of copies, of a single piece of artwork. Our second vocab term is plinth. This is a heavy base supporting a statue or a vase. It's also known as a pedestal, but plinth is often more substantial and heavier than a pedestal. This is Le Poncu, or The Thinker, by Auguste Rodin. This version was created in 1904 and stands 180 centimeters, just shy of 6 feet, tall. I say this version because, as with many sculptures, this is a cast. This particular cast was created by pouring molten bronze into a mold. In 1880, sculptor Auguste Rodin was commissioned to sculpt a doorway to a newly proposed public art museum planned for Paris. His doorway project, titled The Gates of Hell, was inspired by Dante's Inferno. It featured several sculptures and vignettes, along with this figure, originally called the Poet, sitting atop the doorway itself. It is theorized that this figure was meant to represent Dante himself, gazing down at the poor souls entering the gateway to hell. The first doorway version of this figure stood just 70 centimeters tall, or roughly 20 inches. The planned museum project fell through and was never built, but Rodin still wanted to explore the poet further. He created a larger version of it, sitting alone atop a stone plinth, gazing contemplatively down at passers-by. Public acclaim to this piece was instant, and this is when the name The Thinker was given to this piece. It should be noted that Rodin never once called it that himself. The public created the name The Thinker all on their own. It's hard to overstate what a positive reception this piece received from the general public. Originally on display in the Salon, pretty much the only place artists could display and sell work not made for commissions, it was not accessible to a large number of people. A local magazine editor named Gabriel Musi was so taken with it, however, that he started selling subscriptions to his magazine in order to finance the purchase of the artwork. He basically crowdfunded this sculpture to be bought by the city of Paris and put on display publicly so that anyone could see it. A 1904 version of Kickstarter, this was how much people believed in this work of art. In truth, this is no small thing. This version was originally moved to its current location at the Musée Rodin in 1922. So why is this piece of art so appealing to so many people? Well, the position which the contemplative figure finds himself in is one of deep thought and concentration. The arched back and curled hand resting under the chin are signs of study that would have been hard to capture were this figure standing up. Due to the figure's nudity, the thinker is unencumbered and unattached to any specific period in time. He belongs to all time periods and all places. This is one of the reasons the sculpture remains so popular today. He represents all of mankind, past and present and future. The muscular body and powerful figure was unsettling for many other sculptors of the day. They found the representation inappropriate for representing the spirit, which they felt should be softer, more ethereal. Rodin's response to this criticism? Quote, "My idea was to represent all of humanity, a robust, workmanlike figure. He stops mid-task to think about things, to exercise an ability which distinguishes him from the animals." The thinker has been cast many times in multiple materials and can be found across the world. About 28 monument-sized bronze casts are in museums and public places across the globe. There are sculptures of different study-sized scales and plaster versions in both monument and study sizes. Some newer castings have also been produced posthumously, but are not considered part of the original production by the artist. This image of a man lost in thought, but whose powerful body suggests a great capacity for action, has become one of the most celebrated sculptures ever created. It's been used to represent philosophy, poetry, calm, pacifism, and more. Basically any human emotion you can think of, this piece of art has been used to replicate it. Its broad appeal but very human nature make it one of the most special sculptures ever created. After all, how many times does a piece of art make us consider, what does it mean to be human?